Hi, everybody, and welcome to another of our webinars. Today, we're going to be speaking with Yoni from Woo. But whilst a few of you are just waiting to join, we'll just do a quick bit of introductions. I don't know about you guys, and I think I've said this every week for the last few weeks. This is currently the last Monday of November. I'm not really sure how that happened. 2025, right, has just flown by. But it's been a really interesting, really interesting year. And in the webinar we were talking about last year, we kind of said being flat kind of has been the new up this year. But next year, coming into what is going to be a brand new year in a few weeks' time, obviously we're hoping that we're going to accelerate stuff going forwards. We were just talking before we came on about like new hobbies and what we were hoping to achieve next year. And I started rock climbing yesterday, and lo and behold, Yoni is an experienced rock climber. So it's great that kind of we're now having those conversations about what the new year brings for us, and we've got some more conversations about that today. So for those of you who don't know me, my name is Holly Langley. I am the founder and CEO of Restack, and we work with recruitment agencies who specifically use Bullhorn to help them maximize Bullhorn, their data, automation and analytics to really drive success in their business. Now, we've known the guys at Woo for a long time. We have a numerous amounts of shared clients and they do a fantastic job. So Yoni, over to you.
Yeah, thank you, Holly. Thank you for having me. It's been, great seeing you in person and now doing a webinar together. So I'm Yoni. I'm the director of customer success at Woo. I manage all of our clients, the team, making sure all the clients, get onboarded, get the integrations going. And, like Holly said, we have many clients using Woo, implementing Woo to streamline automation, where Holly's specialty is really taking the data that we're providing inside ATS and using it with Bullhorn automation very effectively.
And it's a really interesting conversation. So the reason why I feel really passionately about this product is before I came into the world of recruitment, I did something very different. So I was in childcare. I was a nanny, and I looked after kids for like 10, 15 years, and I loved it. However, the job I do now is very, very different. However, I would say once or twice a week, I get an email from the recruitment agencies that I used to help me find jobs. And 10 years later, I've not been in childcare for nearly 10 years. And I haven't looked for a job in childcare for probably 15 years. And yet I'm still getting these emails about jobs that are no longer relevant to me. Now, what you're thinking is, Holly, unsubscribe. I kind of don't really want to because I kind of want to see what happens, right? Because I find it really interesting. Like, are they ever going to realize I'm no longer in that industry? Are they ever going to call me and offer me a job in a nursery or as a nanny anymore? Like, I would absolutely love it if they did. I'll then sell. I'll then come in and sell what you guys are doing.
Yeah, so it's funny. It's funny you say that because we have clients who come and say, "Great, I'm going to send before I update my database. We're going to send mass emails out to all of our candidates and say, where are you at?" And we go, no, don't do that. You're going to spam your database. Like, it's a really bad idea to do that because then it's not coming from a warm perspective. It's coming from like, you're just trying to keep sending me emails and it's not going anywhere. So we advise to not do that. And that's where we come in and we start updating the database consistently and really understanding where candidates are going, new skills, new titles, new locations, especially new industries they're going into. And I think that's really the power of it, because now you can do, your database is now living and breathing, and now you can do whatever you want with it. And I think that's the goal.
And that's exactly what we want. So look, so over the course of the next 2 minutes, so the next 10, 15 minutes or so, we kind of want to look at like how we can get ahead of the market. So like we're seeing numerous things, and I know you're seeing numerous things, like what secrets that we're going to share, or like what are your clients using and what are they doing in this kind of period of, I don't know, being flat, downtime, uncertainty, whatever you call it. What are they doing to really monopolize and kind of create success within their ATS for their recruitment market? So Yoni, like over to you, like, do you want to share with us kind of what your clients are seeing and doing?
I think you have to look at it as a long-term, you have to do long-term versus short-term, approach. I think, when everyone has a huge tech stack and they're trying to understand how that tech stack fits in, you got note takers, you got, you got, phone systems, you got, everything that's just automation, and you have another search tool, a search and match tool. Like everything is kind of, trying to be implemented all at once. And I think you have to do it in different stages and do it, one step at a time. And I think that's where our clients are seeing success, is they're understanding that, look, there's the long-term goals versus the short-term goals. Mm-hmm. And the first goal that they want to do short-term is getting the data right. And I think that's the first step in order for them to even start anywhere, is to have that engine running before they start implementing and putting more tools on top of it. And I think that's where a lot of the success is coming, is starting with the data and then seeing the success in every tool that they have. So that's the real success we're seeing right now.
I agree. I did a talk a few weeks ago and I said, bullhorn is king, data is queen. That's exactly what we need to see. And yeah, you're right. So like from our point of view, like in recruitment, when I started in the industry, however long ago, data wasn't really a thing. And I remember consultants would literally go on and add contacts, and it'd be like, hello@amazon.com. Oh my gosh, like it horrifies me now. Right. From a data point of view, we obviously need to get this clean. We need to get this tidy. This is going to unlock loads. Are there any, do you have some examples of the key data points that you think really need to be accurate, clean, tidy, and then kept up to date?
Yeah, I think from both sides, especially on contact level and candidate level. So I'll start with the candidate side. So basically titles, location, a company, something that, it gives you something to work off of, and from there, then you can add skills is great, but, skills is an ongoing, addition and subtraction and, to it. But, location wise, is very important, because if you're moving locations and you want to know where you're targeting, let's say with automation or different areas, titles for sure, because of matching, he's trying to find candidates, that you're matching with. So our key data points that we're injecting are, into the ATS are, we inject many different data points, but the key ones are titles, skills, industries, location, and different kinds of categories that we can categorize people instead of being, title specific, because one person can call senior software engineer, someone can call themselves a software engineer, but and they're just calling themselves something, different on their resume. So that's, I think that I would start from that, from the candidate. And then from the contact side is especially, same thing. It comes down to, title, company, history that you can leverage, because on the contact level, you have a ton of contacts that you can leverage and get new opportunities with. You just need to know where they're going. So that's what I would think is the best data points to even have.
Yeah, I really like the job title thing. I think when you have job titles that are accurate, like in this scenario, it means that you can be searching better quality. They're going to come up in Booleans. You can then do automations. You can then do marketing campaigns. You can also then look at doing salary surveys and sort of more filtered out segmentation based on that. And you're right, like that is really, really important. Out of everything, for me, like job title is probably one of the most important things that's on the system. And believe it or not, I still see so many companies who don't even track current job title. It is crucial to track and having that up-to-date fields. And also, if you know that they've got a new job title, there's the opportunity to backfill and get that role sourced, or congratulate them on sending out.
Exactly.
One of the things that we did in a campaign a few years ago, I think it was in my old job, is when we knew someone had a promotion, we would send them I think we sent them in a chocolate brownie or a bit of a voucher for a cake. And it just said congrats on the promotion. We're really proud of you. Well done. It was something. Now that's great. If you've placed that candidate there, that's amazing. But if not, it's also a good sign, because that candidate may now be a hiring manager. So there's so many opportunities.
And also go a long way. People appreciate the warm approach and taking the time and understanding where you've gone. And it does a lot. It does a lot, more than people think.
For sure. So before we were talking, you have been busy. So you were in the US last week.
Yeah, we got invited to a conference. Yeah.
And I believe you've got a bit of a stat surrounding one of your clients that you want to share, which is a fantastic.
Yeah, it's a fantastic stat. So one of our clients, SSI people in the United States, they came to Woo a couple of years ago, and they have a huge database of 1 million plus people, and they were like, great, we want to monetize our database because we've had so many candidates. We need to know where they're going, and they before they started, they had 2% placements coming from their database, and they were like, that's just not maintainable. Like, you know, we have 1 million plus people, that's just impossible. So then after they started using Woo, within the first 12 months, they jumped to 30%, you know, placements, because they're using bone automation, auto match, Woo data, and it's now a running machine. So that machine is consistently going, and it's matching according to updated information. I think that has been like the biggest driver, because there's no adoption to it. You know, consultants are getting notifications of shortlisted candidates that were matched, reach out campaigns that are automatically done. It makes things more efficient. And I think that was a huge response, because people were like, whoa, like, I know I'm not making placements for my database. Definitely not with the outdated data that I have. Now I can do that, especially with everyone having automation. You're just constantly in the same loop over and over again. You're matching on outdated data. So once SSI said that on stage in front of everybody, that was like a big wake up call to everyone, and that's where everyone started flooding us from that point. It became very busy the rest of the week. So like it was great. It was phenomenal, and I think that was like the biggest talk.
Like 2%.
Yeah.
To 30% placements from your database is an incredible amount. Like, that is fantastic. Like, one of the things, and one of the kind of coming back to one of the secrets that I have got, is that I think we need to get away from using LinkedIn Recruiter so much. Now, don't get me wrong. I love LinkedIn Recruiter. It's a fantastic product. However, as I've said many times, I spoke to Gabe about this last time, is the problem is, everybody has access to a similar pool of candidates on LinkedIn Recruiter. I could set up an agency tomorrow, spend £6,000 on a LinkedIn license, or however much it is these days, and message all your candidates as well. And that's not competitive advantage. Your competitive advantage to win is looking at the data you already have in your system, picking up the phone because you've got their mobile number, looking at the call history, and having that really good conversation, because that's what your competitors can't do. Your competitors don't have the same notes as you. They don't have the 10-year history. They probably don't have a mobile number. What your competitors are going to do is send out 100 emails and wait and get a 24% response rate, which isn't great. But you have got the power, and I'd be interested to see how much of the placements from your client were on LinkedIn, and if that number has stayed the same, or if that number's gone down due to kind of the information now being on the system. So I think that's, for me, the more we can get this data right, the more that we can get the team using the CRM and the data that is within it. Big game changer in this market.
To piggyback off what you're saying is they're in the database. They're there. Everyone you're stepping on, regardless, they're there. You have 1 million plus people. You built your own LinkedIn. Like, what are you like? Yeah, you need new blood and new candidates, and I get that, and new markets, and I understand that. But to have it on everyone, I still don't understand that. Like, you have hundreds and thousands of people just waiting for you to reach out to them. Just by updating the data, you can filter them out. You can see where they're going. You can do all these warm approaches, and LinkedIn is a very cold approach. I love LinkedIn. LinkedIn's great, but it's all cold, right? Like, so if someone's in your database, why would you reach out to them on LinkedIn? Why don't you pick up the phone, call them, have a conversation, meet up for coffee, and have and build those relationships that way. So I think that has been the change, is people starting to realize, look, you're not going to drop LinkedIn. It's not going to happen, like, in general. Like, but can you reduce it? Can you focus your efforts on reducing that spend? Sure. And I think that's where the ultimate goal is you want to get to. I don't think it's going to happen overnight. I think it's going to happen gradually. And when you see those statistics and you see the year-to-year placements coming from your database, your dependency on job boards in general, and LinkedIn itself becomes less and less, to the point where you're just using your database and monetizing everything from it.
Yeah, we have a couple of clients who have delivery consultants who are kind of just sourcing candidates, and some of them have access to LinkedIn and some of them don't. So they still have the licenses, but there are groups within that business who are primarily focused on searching and dialing through the CRM, which I think is a fantastic way. And you've got that dual approach there, but I think that's really, really important. So a big change in the market that we have seen in the last 12 months alone has been all about AI. Mm-hmm. So one of the things that has changed the market It's just how much AI is powering everything forward, which is great. How obviously that's changed a large amount of how the recruiters work on a daily basis. Like, what are you seeing from an AI point of view that are really helping your clients kind of win? Not necessarily like, not they need to buy this product, but like, what are they doing with data, with the improvements to move it along and get those successes in?
I think there's so much AI out there. I think, I see a new AI tool every single day on LinkedIn pop up saying, a new kind of tool that, AI that's doing something. And I think, again, the first part is the data. Once the data is in, the AI tool effectively should work. That's just statistics, and it just makes sense, from that perspective. So if you have a search and match tool, if you have some AI that like using Amplify, using customers using Amplify, search and match, or they're let's say a resume, creating nice resumes, you need data in order for that to effectively work. So once they see the confidence in seeing that data in, then it opens up the confidence in using AI. And obviously we have our own AI, we have other things, coming inside, but inside of Woo in general to help, streamline those initiatives. But in general, I think it's not everyone's ready for it, but it's here. And I think that like, you're not gonna, 6 months from now and say, I'll push this aside. I don't think that's going to do anything. You're just delaying that fact of getting to where, you need to get to, and just embrace it. It's a tough change, but it's a great change. And I think, agencies embracing it, those are the ones, going to be very successful and adopting it and getting things ahead.
I think you're right. I think like like there's so many different things that you need to have AI on, or you could have AI on, and you don't necessarily need AI on everything. Like,
correct,
that it's too much. Like, I remember maybe about 12 months ago, someone rang me out of the blue and just literally, she said to me, Holly, my boss has told me to go and get some AI. Like, what should I buy? And I was like, oh gosh, like nothing, like what's your problems? And like 9 times out of 10, like the AI problems that we're trying to fix are recruiter efficiency. Recruitment leaders want people calling the right person at the right time with the right message. Great. Or they want to improve the quality of what's going on. So they want to improve the data. They want to improve the quality of the searching to then in turn help the recruiters like be more efficient, to do more. And it's really, really interesting. But all of it comes back down to like having a single source of truth in your system, making sure your team know what they're doing with the AI, you're doing it responsibly, and that it's producing something that's accurate. We've all used ChatGPT. We've all stuck in a terrible prompt. I spend most of my life telling ChatGPT to be less cheesy because the content it spits out it can be a bit way off sometimes, but that's okay.
Hallucinates,
yeah, but it's okay because we know that we need to sort of manage that, and it's all as good as whatever you put into it, as will any product that you have, whether it's AI or not. You need to have that consistency, and you need to have good, clean data, good, clean processes and workflows for it all to kind of like fall into place, I suppose, and make sense. So yes, it's going to be an interesting transition over the next couple of years for more data, like more data, more AI. And like, what I always find is really interesting is like 2 years ago, we wouldn't be speaking about AI now. No. 4 years ago, we wouldn't be talking about data. So I'm already thinking like, if we were to skip forward end of this time next year, even the end of 2027, what's going to be the new trend? Like, we've had data, AI, what's next? I'm hoping it's going to be like training, and that everybody's having a massive focus on getting their recruiters trained. But you never know. We could
never know. Yeah, I think a lot of agents are coming, like in general, like AI agents are coming to do a lot of big data, a lot of operational things that I think, to your point, can focus everyone on training and getting people, on the right things, instead of having them to do a lot of admin work and operational work that it takes their focus away. So I think that's going to be a big shift. But yeah, I agree completely. The core is you need the data, and once the data is there, then the world is endless to what you can do.
That's the dream, isn't it? Interesting. So just to recap, what we're kind of summarizing is we need to make sure the data is in a really good place, really looking at like job titles and like locations for candidates and contacts to move them forward. And one of your clients kind of through going through the process of cleaning their data went from a 2% placement rate from their system to 30%, which is fantastic. one of the other things we were talking about was like using LinkedIn and how like the advantages of being on using stuff and your data from your CRM means you've got numbers, you know who to call, you've got that relationship here, which your competitors don't. And once you've kind of got all of this kind of coming into shape, the combination of all of that hopefully will give you a fantastic platform for kind of hopefully 2026 and using further additional products, training, AI, whatever that may be, kind of to drive everything through forward. So I feel like we've made it sound really easy, but
we painted a really crazy easy picture, but
and a lot of this doesn't happen. Like you're not going to wake up tomorrow with the cleanest data in the world and it's all going to be perfect. But gradual improvements and getting the right tech stack where this all kind of is encompassing, and it does make such a difference. Like, we've seen it firsthand with our clients, and I know you guys do as well. So
long-term goals, short-term goals, like you gotta focus on that.
We've got this. Okay. Well, look, if people have any questions about kind of what data is important or what they should be looking at in the system or how their data is, Yoni, what is the best way for them to reach out to you?
They'd send me, I know we're talking about LinkedIn, they could send me a message on LinkedIn. They could, it's funny how that happens, but it's, on LinkedIn, you can also send me an email directly.
Fabulous. Well, look, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me.
No, anytime. It has been an absolute pleasure. And if you do have any questions following this, drop them in the chat. We'll be picking them up over the next few weeks as usual. But thank you. And remember, data is queen, everybody. Speak to you soon.
Happy holidays. Enjoy.
Bye.
Bye.